Hello, my name is Diane Castillo, and for my visual presentation, I will be talking about the different types of communitas and pilgrimage experience. The name of my slideshow I gave was Everyone as a Whole, a pilgrim journey. So, what is pilgrimage? A simple definition would be a journey to a sacred place for spiritual, emotional, or physical transformation. In our reading, Lord's a place of religious transformations. Arnold van Jung was mentioned. He was a French anthropologist who developed the three-phased rite of passage model, describing how individuals move from one social status to another during different stages of life. For example, like birth, puberty, marriage, and death. The first stage is known as the preliminal rites, or also separation phase. Pilgrims leave their ordinary life and identity behind. An example would be in the film The Way we discover that Tom's son Daniel dies on his first day on the attempt at Camino de Santiago. Tom then flies out to France to retrieve Daniel's body, and instead of going home with his son, Tom decided to stay and walk the Camino himself. This decision to stay and go on the pilgrimage journey is the separation phase. He is pulled out and away from his everyday life and forced into emotional and physical separation. The second phase is known as the liminal rites or transition phase. During this phase, pilgrims are in this in-between phase. In simple terms, it's like you are stuck in a limbo state. People aren't able to identify with their old self, but they also haven't reached this new status of themselves in society yet. Referring back to the film, an example would be as Tom takes on the journey to the Camino, he meets other pilgrims such as Jack, Sarah, and Joust. Each deal with their own struggles and they have their own reasons for making this pilgrimage to Spain. At some point, Tom was separated from these people, but they all found a way back to each other, all four. The journey was filled with many trials, such as emotional breakdowns and physical exhaustion. The more time Tom spent with these people, he was able to confront his grief, guilt, and regrets with them. The Camino becomes a liminal space, which is outside of normal times where transformation unfolds and Tom can reflect on life and opens up emotionally. The third phase would be post-liminal rites, or also known as the incorporation phase. During this phase, a pilgrim has already experienced rituals, prayers, or healing processes. They are now allowed to return back to their normal lives, but they have been transformed in some way. They have a renewed sense of faith or a stronger community connection. They, as a person, have a new sense of self and purpose. An example referring back to our film would be how Tom was able to make it to Santiago de Compostela and he goes the extra mile to release the rest of his son's ashes in the ocean. His grief has shifted. He is now more empathetic and has a more easygoing attitude. And then Tom returns to society as a changed person. He's more emotionally fuller, spiritually open, and more connected to others. He also is able to travel more, just like how his son wanted him to do. Okay, the next slide. Communitas. Um, Communitas was a term coined by Victor Turner, an anthropologist. Um, this word means a powerful feeling of equality, unity, and connection among pilgrims who temporarily step outside their normal social roles. Communitas is experienced during the liminal phase. And so in the film, the Camino created a liminal space where strangers shed their usual social labels and unite through their shared hardship. It was also mentioned during our lectures that this particular sense of togetherness, also known as the communitas, is a key feature of the liminal stage. Um, this feeling of togetherness is central to what most pilgrims experience at Lourdes and on the Santo Domingo pilgrimage. In the article Emic Understandings of Malahal Pilgrimage Experiences, it also mentions commutas, but Turner says there are three types, which are the existential, normative, and ideological. To put these in simple terms for you, existential communitas is a spontaneous and temporary bonding, often in the liminal spaces like rituals. For normative communitas is the institutionalization or the formalization of this bond into social structures. And lastly, for ideological communitas is the use of ideas to help foster and promote a shared sense of community. And so in the next slide, I will explain how this is connected back to the film. Connections. On the side, this is a picture of the route that they took in the film, The Way. So in the article, it goes on to say that communitas is the idea that during pilgrimage, everyone is equal and united. But it also mentions that this pilgrimage in India, um, it has an implemented caste system, which is like a social hierarchy, and they think it makes it harder for this experience to happen. But as the study goes on, there's a direct quote from a pilgrim of the Kum Mahal Mahal that says they don't care about the casting system or the economical status. Everyone treats each other well and equal here. So, despite the arguments that commutants cannot exist in a hierarchical society, the study reveals that pilgrims allow people to form genuine healing connections across social boundaries, and the way, which is the film, models this existential communitas through characters who bond through shared um, liminality, much like pilgrims at the Komahala who experience similar moments of unity and mutual support.